It just gives you a better time sense in how to deal with it, having to put yourself, she's like, well, I'll just work through this, I'll take care of this, I'll do this, I'll take it. But it's possible people are using people are using her energy to a great resource. She's doing so much and she can't carry it. Nothing's coming, not enough's coming back to her. So right now, Pluto's off just finishing the square to Venus and conjunct and squaring the ascendant. So this is still a big issue now, just as she's about to go down south again for the winter. It's not going to be relaxing until you get past Christmas. I don't know. I mean, it could be it could be something coming up. One of the kids or somebody isn't well and she can't go, or something happened, or they may not be able to be as together as they love. There's some challenge here. I don't know what it is. Then it lifts off a bit through the spring and through the winter, spring, comes back again, August, September, October. So again, I think this is possibly tied to how much can you go, how much do you stay, do you go permanently, do you not go permanently? This is part of the puzzle. It would be hard to maintain the two worlds, businesses in Canada and the States, and the taxes involved with it and all these things and how much it costs with these things going. It's not a time where you'd be getting tax breaks. And if you're going to the States, they demand you to pay taxes for anything you make outside of the country as well. So Canadians end up having to pay two taxes. So possibly she may be thinking of becoming American, letting go of the Canadian passport because it's the only feasible thing to do in this. Hard to say. Like, this is the issue. I don't know which side she's on or what's going on. You know what's going on. You just have to ask her, and she burst into tears and tell you in a second. Yeah, it's just, oh my goodness. But fears are like that. You don't like to have to come up with that right on you. She's having to deal with it. She knows there's been some tough love thing going on here. So still, it's not all, it's going to be, she has to face it, but it's not all resolved. There's still decisions coming up in the end of the year before that really critical period is over. See, years before, she had Saturn, like 4 or 5 years ago, Uranus was going over the ascendant. That about the new identity that was going to the States, I believe. And no, that's still coming up. So okay, that's in this process, and we'll come to that. Okay, so with Neptune, this whole time, it's not about confusion. There's no deception, distortion going on. It's not gullible, deluded, none of that. There's just a reality check going on with Pluto, and what's worthwhile or what's not. It's tough. What's real? What's not? What do I want? It's not coming. What do I get? How do I do it? What am I going to do? Like, deal with it. So she's got tough decisions to be making. But Neptune, the good thing is there's no deception or confusion. It's not like she's being deceived by anybody or deceiving herself. A good thing. Okay, it's not till 2022 that Neptune will start scoring the Mars for 2022 and 2023. Then there's confusion of, what am I doing? That could be difficulty maintaining the work. That'd be confusion around the work. It could be the weakness of the partner or complications around physical energy. That's more confusing. Where should I be? Where should we? So if she leaves, maybe she's wondering, should I stay or should, like, she's rethinking it. But Neptune, that's a confusing, but that's still a few years ahead. You know, when you know it, you see these things, you know they're there. You don't know how to navigate through them. You imagine the worst, and then you try and work it through to get the best out of them. And you can see where, knowing astrology, you can see the complications. And if the husband isn't getting well, there's points where she may not be able to carry it all that much, or take care of them all that much. It may be more complicated by that. It could be issues just to where she's working with, or being in two places, like just, or the new place. Not if she goes to say maybe she doesn't make as much money as she was. I think she would still be successful in that. I don't think it's about so much about career. It's got to be Mars in the 6th is tied into that, relationships and career. But then it's the Pluto's hitting Mercury, causing really sharp thinking. I got to rethink what's real, what's not. It's not emotional then, it's emotional now. It's strong thinking then. And then, but there's confusions around the Mars in 2022. Okay, so this is dramatic information. We're looking at this 8-year graph. We're filling in the Saturn. And so we got Saturn up high. Oh, great. but it's not there easily. So in 2015, Uranus opposed Venus, big shocks, even into 2016. And some of this was somewhere in around here, her mom died, but it was somewhere in being able to let go of being here and being able to change. Uranus was conjuncting the ascendant, so letting go of anxieties or worried here and starting the new world with Uranus on the ascendant. I'm doing Uranus on the ascendant in Aries. I'm going. So somewhere in here, she went down to the States. Was going down to the States in the winter, and that was her new freedom. But there were shocks, emotionally and financially. Then there were sort of, with Uranus hitting Mercury for 2017 and 18, they were worry points, anxiety points of how I'm doing this, but what's real, what's thinking this. Now she has Uranus square Mercury, so this is not a small aspect. This causes major anxieties around this. But in her major anxieties, she's in a person, she would relate this to her partner and what's happening, what's going on. So maybe it could be different ideas between the two of them, but she's in the reality of going, she wouldn't have her mind wouldn't be settling and be that she's going, she's coming back, she's going, she's coming back. It's still restless. Okay, during this whole time period. You're not sleeping well, she's not relaxed. And with Pluto, there's a lot of pressure. I mean, this pressure, if she didn't go, it would have been happening just here anyways. So she's extended it to 2 places, and I don't know how it's polarized or not. Now, Uranus finished her Mercury, so she finished the classes, but then she didn't become the professional astrologer. She still has her own career doing really well, so she hasn't been working with that much. But this is probably some of the reasons why, too many things to take care of. And with Uranus on her ascendant, she's going on the freedom. She's finally breaking away, doing some things she never did before. It's exciting. Whew. Okay, but the worries and the thoughts that's lifted. Like, even though the confrontations are going there, it's not worrying her as much. She's figured out a way to deal with it, and the Uranus isn't disturbing. She doesn't have any more Uranus problems or disruptions to her thinking anymore. It's more reality check to her thinking in 2022, but not shocks or letdown, changes of plan. Maybe Uranus is changes of plans from what you expected to what. No, but Uranus has been reactive. It's just slowing down now. So not the anxiety, but the anxiety may not be there, but certainly the Pluto anxiety of the Venus and the ascendant is still going on right now. But it's not suddenly shocking. It's just something that has to be dealt with. You may have to deal with this. You may have to do this. No, if you ask for a break with Pluto on your ascendant, you don't get a break. You have to do it yourself. What's the meditation for Pluto? A Pluto transit, 2 words. So what? Yeah, but it's one of my really favorite things. Somebody really wanted this. So what? That's real here. That's Pluto. And when you start taking control of it yourself, you start winning it. But like I said, it's a tough love. It's a hard thing on one's identity and things. Okay, now, so that's Uranus. Now we got Saturn. We know where Saturn is. She's building up the career. She's working for sure. It's around the career, and that is their strong suit, not home and family. Not home. Having the career is a strong suit. So we look through it. 2017, squaring Mars. That's just hard work, making extra effort, hard work. That's being in the 2 countries and what to do. She's not ready to slow down. And then 2018, by the end of 2018, Saturn squaring the Sun, but conjuncting the midheaven. So that's going into the beginning of this year. That was, I got to work this. I'm up here. I got it. I got the position. She knows she's in control, and that's what she has to do. She just doesn't know she wants to work so hard to do so much. But here she is. She's going to. It could be that in the downturn of real estate, in the downturn of things in the market, in the world, it's affecting how much money she has. Could be that simple. The money's being challenged to maintain the lifestyle of the last few years. So right now it's calm, but she had the Pluto hitting the Venus right now, just finishing, and hitting the ascendant and squaring the ascendant, and Saturn's coming to square the Venus, causing some concern about money being tight or emotions being tight, and squaring the ascendant. So Saturn and Pluto are conjuncting. and piling up here. It's up high, it's tremendous demand. At the same time, there's not a feeling of money's tight, emotions tight. I'm not feeling rewarded by this. Okay. Now, the Saturn's hitting the Sun at the same time as Pluto. By February, they're both lifting off of this, but the Saturn's hitting the Mercury. This is the serious, initially it's a depression, it's a worry. But Saturn's practical thinking. I have to make some practical thinking to deal with perhaps the cost of living for the last few years. It's cutting back. That's affecting this, I'm thinking this, and there may be some struggle involved with the relationship or identity and thinking about this. But certainly next year is not a frivolous year, so it's serious business decisions, cautious. Like she's not really anxious with her Mercury. This is about, I have to take care of this, this is the planning part, the Saturn part. And that there's things to take care of. So she has to take care of those things. These are, she set in a plan, she's anchored in, there's work to be done. That's not so cheerful. But once she gets this work done, so maybe she has some big taxes, boom, they come down, it means she's got to work extra hard in both countries this year and be ready for the taxes next year. But then once that's done, she's not having to work harder for that. She gets a year where there's not really any heavy aspects hitting. Saturn's up high, Pluto's up high, nothing's critical of the other planets is critical coming in to ascendant, so it stabilizes. Then Pluto comes in to hit the Mercury, and you're thinking, the plans you had made with the Saturn to Mercury, you start thinking, is this really real or not? Do I want to do this or not? Is it what's true here? You start seeing things. So in the world's going through a lot of changes. She's really going to be, she's being affected by them. And then the Neptune comes to Mars, confusion about what I'm doing. The Saturn's squaring the Moon. She's tired. And what if one of the kids get in trouble and there is in problems and she has to help out her? This wherever she is, it's her strength isn't so much at home, Saturn to the Moon. It'll be Saturn being at career and working, but trying to keep her health up and trying to keep things going. If she's kept her health through this, she's pretty well won the main battle. But this is the kind of thing, if you've got a lot of negativity, a lot of doubt, a lot of fear, there could be health issues with that Pluto hitting the ascendant. That challenging other things, that forcing a slowdown. If she's still supposed to get back to work and do things that she can, she may not be able to go back and do as much. This is the reality check of Pluto and the Saturn coming in. So this is my take on looking at this. This is my prep work on looking at the chart and done through this. Okay, now she's coming in to see me right now. It's intense. We're talking this. Okay, we're going to have to talk about these things, and I have to be ready to walk in and look at and explain these things backwards and forwards until we get some realistic way to find out what the problem is and then figure out what to deal with it. Who's involved, where it is, how it's going. Okay. So when we get to the 2-year stays, like it's interesting with all those confrontations going. October 20th, Mars conjuncting her. She's pumped. She's trying to get everything ready so she can get things done here, so she can go down to the States. It's winter's coming. This pressure is coming on. So she's been pushing, working hard. That's Mars. By December 19th, just before Christmas and through Christmas, Saturn squares Venus. So there's worry about money, but she's not feeling appreciated. There's something bothering her emotionally. And that's December 19th, and by the 28th, between Christmas and New Year, so it's the holidays, Pluto squaring the ascendant. So the confrontation comes there. And then by the 8th, Saturn's hitting the ascendant. So really, this whole December, if she goes and is in the States, she's away from family, she's still not going to be happy. If she stays, the family will be here, she's not going to be happy. Something is coming, something's forcing Pluto, something's forcing decisions to be made, not exactly what she wants, but by what has to be happened, what has to be.